You are sitting in a conference room with a dozen dominant personalities. The conversation is bouncing rapidly. You have a brilliant insight, but you politely decide to wait for a quiet gap in the dialogue so you can share it. The problem is that gap never arrives. The meeting ends and your brilliant idea stays trapped in your head. I call this the spectator syndrome. Natural pauses in corporate discussions are a myth. If you wait for an explicit invitation to speak, you will remain silent. Management's perception of your potential is often limited to the ideas they actually hear you defend. When your name isn't attached to any of the insights on the whiteboard, you become functionally invisible in the decision-making process. Commanding the room requires a tactical entry system. You can project your voice and share your ideas with confidence using a 4-step execution plan designed to handle even the most crowded meetings. To make this concrete, pull up your calendar right now. Find one specific group gathering occurring in the next 48 hours. That meeting is going to be your practice ground for these 4 steps. Step 1 happens before you even walk into the room. If you know you struggle to interrupt, you are going to use the person running the meeting to your advantage. About an hour beforehand, send a brief message to the organizer. Say, "I have a quick update regarding the quarterly numbers. Can you carve out 2 minutes for me on the agenda?" By planting the seed, the psychological burden of finding an opening is completely removed from your shoulders. You no longer have to worry about talking over louder colleagues during the actual event. When the time is right, the organizer will naturally pivot the spotlight to you. They will pause the group and announce that you have an update to share. Leveraging the organizer's authority transforms a stressful interjection into an invited contribution. Let's move the timeline forward. You are now 5 minutes into the meeting. Before you execute any verbal tactics, you have to prime your physical foundation. Your vocal power is directly tied to your posture. This diagram illustrates the authority posture. If you sit slumped backward, compressed lungs make your voice sound thin. Instead, pull your shoulders back and lean forward. Now establish direct, sustained eye contact with the current speaker to signal intent. Do not look down at a notepad or your laptop. Looking down signals passivity. It tells the room you are simply taking notes, not preparing to lead the discussion. Mastering this physical presence commands attention immediately. It dictates your vocal authority before a single word is even spoken. Now that your physical presence is established, you reach the critical moment of claiming the floor. You will do this using one of 2 specific verbal entry strategies. Option 1 is the bridge and build. In a fast-moving meeting, abruptly changing the subject feels jarring to the group. Instead, you validate the current speaker's point to smoothly attach your new idea. You might say, "Building on Sarah's point regarding the timeline, we also need to consider the vendor's availability." Think of this like a game of double Dutch jump rope. Successful entry means studying the rhythm, matching the pace, and smoothly sliding into the loop. Your second option is the clarifying question. Highly effective leaders often command the room simply by asking the smartest question. If the conversation is spinning out of control, ask a targeted, open-ended question. Try saying, "Before we move on, how exactly will this software integration impact the customer experience?" Both of these tactics work because they rely on redirecting the room's existing momentum rather than aggressively fighting against it. Once you secure the floor, keep your contribution tight. Deliver your point in 2 or 3 crisp sentences, and then literally close your mouth. Do not ramble. This graph illustrates uptalk, the habit of raising your pitch at the end of a statement, turning a fact into a question. Instead, physically drive your inflection down at the final period. Drop your pitch and let the idea land. A downward inflection frames your contribution as a statement of fact, which signals authority to everyone at the table. Let's do a rapid review of the blueprint. Plant the meeting seed beforehand, establish the authority posture, bridge into the conversation, and drive your pitch down at the end. This brings us to your 48-hour challenge. Take the specific meeting you identified on your calendar earlier and use it to execute this exact plan. When you consistently insert your voice into the dialogue, your peers will stop seeing you as a passive observer. They will start recognizing you as an assertive, capable leader. Your influence in any meeting is determined by your ability to insert your voice at the right moment. Mastering these tactics ensures your perspective actually shapes the room's direction.